So the emulator is someone who's all about money and recognition. He's extremely trendy and innovative. He's someone that is driven by autonomy and independence. He needs flexibility. He's kind of a non-committal kind of guy. He loves things that are sexy and prestigious. He likes to compete. He likes a good challenge. He tends to be someone that's very confident and willing to take on just about anything, but not something that makes him feel somebody is looking over his shoulder or tying him down. So in our marketing efforts to move someone from just looky-loo-ism to being engaged in the process, we want to trigger these values. We want to show them that our products, our services, our company is sexy, it's prestigious, it's innovative. If indeed the emulator is the right guy for you, we need to show them how innovative we are, how this is a business that they can be proud of when they go to the country club, that it's a sexy business. It's a business that is cool. It's one that's filled with adventure and fun and challenge. Our advertisements and our marketing and our sales process also needs to reflect fun and challenge and adventure, and be thinking about that. What process are you currently using that stimulates the emulator, that creates a level of challenge and adventure in the due diligence? Or are you just educating them? Are you just throwing a bunch of information at them? The emulator is not going to remain engaged if your whole process isn't filled with some fun and with some adventure and with some diversity and with some variety. Show them that there could be a quick return on investment and that they can leverage the resources they have. And of course, we always want to show them that they have a lot of flexibility within this business that you're encouraging them to move toward, and show them how there's lots of recognition within this business, within their sphere of influence by buying this particular business. So you want to trigger the emulator sphere. So you're dangling the carrot with the values, right? But you're also triggering their fears. Show them if they stay within that comfort zone and they don't go above that wall of fear, that they're going to continue to be micromanaged by a jerk of a boss, right? Show them that they're never going to get the kind of recognition or appreciation that they have earned or that they deserve, that they will always be a minion unless they break out of their comfort zone and step beyond those fears, and we're showing them an opportunity to do just that. Show them if they stay where they are, if they don't break out of that comfort zone, that they are going to be bored out of their gourd and not have any kind of a challenge. And you want them to be constantly feeling there is some challenge, and we want to have them constantly engaged and not being bored in our sales process either. Show them if they stay within their comfort zone that their income is going to be limited, and they'll never reach that true potential that they know that they have. And of course, show them that what they're doing now is really not that sexy, and it's really not that prestigious, and the titles and status and money that can only be attained by being a business owner, especially a business owner with our franchise concept, that they're not going to be able to attain that. So we're triggering the fear, we're triggering the values at the same time. So we're inflicting pain and pleasure at the same time. So another commercial to give you an idea is the Jaguar commercial called Good to Bad. Fabulous emulator commercial. You get this young, attractive woman out on the tarmac awaiting a private jet that's coming in, and she's standing next to the newest, hottest, sleekest, fastest Jaguar you could ever imagine. And you see this Learjet coming in over the Jaguar, and it lands, and out the door comes this suave-looking gentleman who has a bit of mystery and intrigue and adventure around them, almost a James Bond kind of a feeling. Keeping in mind, the emulator is about adventure. It's about challenge. It's about looking and being sexy and prestigious and successful. So this is a beautiful commercial that stimulates the emulator. When you watch it, if you are not an emulator, notice your gut feel around it. You may actually have a negative feeling around this commercial, which would distract you or deter you from buying or being interested in this commercial. So for those of you that are attracted to this commercial, notice what values, what it's bringing up for you and triggering in you. So let's backtrack a little bit. We keep talking about this curiosity and going into this learning zone, and doing so by getting out of that comfort zone and over the walls of fear. What we haven't addressed as much, and I'd like to address in the next session but lay the foundation for today, is this learning zone, which is also a performance zone. So we've created curiosity. We now have them in that learning zone. But how do we keep them in that learning zone through that next 90 to 120 or 180 days that it takes to close that deal? I can tell you, 24 years of doing this business, there is one question every future business owner is asking themselves, and that is, do I have what it takes? Inside, do I have what it takes to be a successful franchisee within that business? Then and only then, once they've been able to answer that question of do I have what it takes, are they able to consider which business? The first question has to be answered. Do I have what it takes? You know, obviously they're curious enough to go looking, but did they get an answer to that question? What makes them confident enough to get out of that comfort zone into that zone of curiosity and through that due diligence process is our ability as marketers and our ability as franchise development, franchise brokers to help them build that confidence. Now, obviously, the Zoracle tool does that to a large extent by giving your prospective franchisee some feedback as to who they are, and indeed they do have what it takes to be a franchisee or a business owner. And it's more about the proper fit. But you too, in your marketing and sales process, can help them answer this question. Remember, they don't move forward until that question is answered. Do I have what it takes? Keeping in mind that self-confidence, if we go to Webster's dictionary, which I don't know if any of us even do anymore, but nonetheless, there it is, suggests that self-confidence is the courage that comes from a certainty about our capabilities and goals. Goals are nothing more than our values and motives. That creates what a goal is. So to stimulate confidence, to stimulate courage, comes from a certainty, a knowing that I have the capability. If I've never grown a business before, if I know nothing about growing a business, how in the world am I going to feel courage and confidence around that? So we build confidence neurologically, physiologically, in our ability to learn and observe and do. So we build confidence by learning, observing, and doing. So how do we do that in that sales process? Keep in mind that confidence or courage comes from progressively learning and developing our capabilities, and it's much more effective when it's attached to our goals. I want you to be thinking about that, and we'll talk about this more in our next session. What are you doing in your marketing efforts and in your sales process that looks at the emulator, or looks at the achiever, or looks at the belonger, or looks at the societal and says, what can I do to help them build courage so they can progress through? And it will always come back to learning and developing their capabilities. So there's a couple of little tips that we're going to give you regarding that. One is by giving them a process of progressively learning. So not just throwing them a bunch of data and documents and things of that nature, but can you create a process where they can learn how to flip that burger or do those books or build a marketing plan? Does your process include progressively learning, and with each step that they learn, it moves them closer to their goals and at the same time builds their confidence? Or are you pitching and selling that whole time? What within your sales process has them step by step learn and build confidence? There's one company that does it really well, and if you haven't observed their sales process, I recommend you reach out to Nothing Bundt Cakes. The way they do it, one of the processes they use, is not only are these individuals encouraged to do on-site and get a day in the life of a franchisee kind of feel, but they also are encouraged to do a business plan and a presentation where at some place within the process of the sale, they are presenting to the staff at Nothing Bundt Cakes their business plan. For some, this is the first time they've ever written a business plan. By the time they have finished writing that business plan and get up in front of an audience and have to present that business plan, the confidence is out the roof. Not only have they figured out how to run their own business, but they're now convincing corporate Nothing Bundt Cakes that they have what it takes and they thought about it. So it's a wonderful process for building confidence. The second piece, and then Chris will start to take some questions here, is the what's Jerry got that I don't have? Some time back, we actually interviewed a franchisee that worked with one of our franchise brokers, and she was a nurse, and one of the things she said was that someone at the hospital she was working in had started a business. And it instantly created this curiosity where she said, what does Jane have that I don't have? This compare, contrast kind of mode that went on. That alone, that level of curiosity and that compare, contrast, where I'm being compared to someone I know or someone that's similar to me, gives me the confidence that I need that says Jerry doesn't have or Jane doesn't have anything that I don't have. Ask yourself in your marketing, in your sales process, are you providing this, what does Jerry have that you don't have process? Are you showing your prospective franchisee, not telling them, but showing them, not just the good franchisees, but the average Joe, where they can say, if that guy can do it, I can do it. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. So what are you doing? I want you to be starting to think about this, and we'll address more of this in our next session, that is specific to learning, which learning builds confidence. What are you doing in a process where they're learning step by step, and each time they learn something, the confidence goes up. You have another step, they're learning, they're building confidence, and they're willing to take more and more risks and move through that process. Keeping in mind, each of your prospects are going to build confidence differently. They're going to want to learn differently. Keeping in mind, again, that if it's an emulator and we're helping them build confidence and courage through this learning process and this curiosity process, what they want to learn about is not the same as what a belonger wants to learn about. So let the belonger learn about how to create team. Teach them or show them and build confidence that they have what it takes to build a team. That's not going to be interesting to an emulator. They're going to be interested in learning about variety and diversity and flexibility and how they can do this business, you know, from their bedroom or from a van or from some island where they just have a cell phone and internet connection. So keep in mind that each of your individuals are motivated differently, they learn differently, and they build courage and they build curiosity differently.